Okay, what I'd like to do is to talk about setting up your own online business. I'm just basically trying to point out some of the dangers of setting up your own, starting your own online business. Now, I started my own business when I was working for my company in 2007, selling items on eBay. Now, I got excited about it. I thought, selling on eBay, I'm a professional, selling these goods out to people and people are buying from me. I thought it was fantastic. But in the last literally couple of years, it's got to be a point where I'm wondering perhaps I shouldn't have started off that way. What I should have done, and I would say this is advice I'm going to give to everybody. I would personally say to anyone who's looking to sort of set up their own business and list on other websites where you again got to pay a fee, listing fee, and then to capitulate to all the rules that they're going to put on you, and then you've got to fight for all that business. I mean, don't get me wrong, these platforms really do get your items sold. There is no two ways about it. But I think there's going to be one day a revolution. I think people are going to go back to, a lot of people are going to go back to setting up their own websites, and that is the route I think that you need to take. I think rather than saying, I want to sell on eBay or on Amazon, think about building your own website from scratch. Just say, right, I don't know how to build a website, but let me study it. And if it takes you 2-3 years to learn it, then it takes you 2-3 years to learn it. You can build your own website on several platforms. There are free hosting platforms out there, some good, some bad. Just like everything, you're going to have to research it, test it out. But if you want to go with paying for hosting, which is what a lot of people do because it's a slightly better quality. Look, if you got your hosting and then used one of the quite big companies, put one WordPress, installed a WordPress site, and then programmed it up with templates. There's loads of free templates out there, and alter them. Maybe you might have to buy one that's a bit more configurable and looks a little bit better. But basically you could set up your own business, I reckon, for about less than 10 quid. Obviously, buying stock, well, it depends on what you're going to sell. If you're going to sell downloadable goods, films or sound or video or whatever. But I would personally look at other avenues, maybe web designing. Over time you might learn how to do web designing. I mean, there are so many platforms out there. There's the biggest, probably the biggest one is Magento. Then there's Joomla. Then there's WordPress. Then there's, I think it's Wix, W-I-X. PrestaShop I've been pretty impressed with because they actually host. You can build your website on their hosting for free. The same with Wix. But again, there's going to be limitations of what you can do with them. But if you're going to just be selling small items to begin with, cables, extensions, or clothing, shoes, you have one page, maybe put up 20 items, but if you can really make that page look as best as you can, use services like Fiverr to get people to build you banners, or help you install your template on, especially if it's a Magento site, or maybe someone on Fiverr could teach you how to, or even build you a website. It might not be fantastic, but it would be reasonably good for you to be able to do sales. Look, owning your own website cuts out the middleman in a huge way. The problem, and this is where it's no longer like it was in the early 90s, 2000, early 2000. With Google now literally got a stranglehold on the search engine business. The only way you're going to really push traffic, good quality traffic that actually wants to buy your products, is to use Google and also to use Bing. These are, and Yahoo. Yahoo is no longer really a major player, unfortunately. I mean, Yahoo started all this, and a few other search engines back in the early 90s. Now it's literally playing third fiddle to Google, and basically owned by Bing. I think Bing is going to eventually take over and absorb Yahoo fully into the business. So getting back to what I'm saying, literally learn how to build your own website. And I'm telling you now, it will probably take you 2 to 3 years, depending on how astute you are, to build your own website. Because look, it's going to be cheaper, way cheaper. And there are some really good websites out there that have been built by people by themselves, and then once they've built that website, they've then linked it through to Bing Ads, then they've linked it through to Google Shopping. Once it's on Google Shopping, your website will increasingly go up the rankings. So after maybe 6 months to a year, if you were using Google Ads, and it is a paid service, that's one thing I've got to work at, it is a paid service. What you'll find is that you will get business. It may not be huge to begin with. It might take 2 to 3 years for it to build up. But I would state that at least by doing that, if you're in a job and you're earning a wage, you can learn about it during the evenings, at the weekends. It can become a bit more of a hobby, but then it will maybe fledge into a business. If you can do, services such as web design, remote tech support, that kind of thing that doesn't involve physical items, stock, and things like that, then that would be much better for you. You don't have to deal with Royal Mail, which is another added cost. You don't have to have big premises. You can maybe have just an office, small office, with the 2 or 3 people helping you out. But I would say to a lot of people out there, if you're really thinking of setting up your own business, don't just jump in and say, right, I've got 20 mobile phone cases or 100 mobile, I'm going to stick them straight onto eBay or onto Amazon. Think about building your own website and then sticking those items onto your website. Then stick those items through to Google Ads and to Bing Ads. Basically, it will involve planning. But if you can do that before setting up your own business or getting into because 3 or 4 years down the line, you might get into a situation like me where business then becomes massively hard because you're having to compete now with thousands and thousands of people on eBay, on Amazon, and you're having to fight for prices with these guys, especially on Amazon, because on Amazon they'll, you can list on other people's listing, which is different to eBay. But when you do list on them, they report you. Some guys are quite like doing that, reporting you to Amazon and saying you're listing your item on my listings, and it's copyrighted, which is a load of rubbish, because a lot of those guys buy the same items from where I get them from. It's not branded with their name. The packing, anybody can get a bag branded and take a picture of it and say, oh look, this is my item. But if you actually have the brand on the cable itself, that means you are really are one of the top big boys. So I would say to a lot of people, look, be very careful about wanting to sell on other platforms. Set up your own. Make up your own website. Once the website is doing really well, for instance, and it is making money and brings money in for you, you could say, yeah, alright, let me sell on these other platforms. It's not that don't sell on them, it's just don't start selling on them. I would say, in fact, you might even find that if your website is doing such good business, why do you need to sell on other platforms and follow their stress and grief and all that? Because I know that some people who did set up their own website and have done really well said, right, I'm going to sell on this platform and I'm going to sell on that platform. And when they did, they found all the grief that came with it, all the feedback and all this kind of nonsense, and they thought, you know what, I don't need all the hassle. And also they were paying the fees, so they decided, we'll stick to selling on our own website. We'll open 3 or 4 more shops. We'll sell it through, use Google ads, Bing ads, Yahoo ads, and all that kind of thing. And they're still doing very successful. Some people actually even sell on Facebook. They have their own Facebook page. Alright, to be honest with you, some people, it's not as good as the other big boys like eBay and Amazon. But if you're, say, a motorcycle club or something like that, and you've got thousands of members, and you sell t-shirts and all that kind of business, and you have a fan page or a business page, and people start finding, they can buy their t-shirts from your Facebook page. My God, it's even cheap. It doesn't cost you anything. You're not paying anything. All you then have to do is set up a PayPal button on the Facebook page, and away you go. So the thing is, I think also the future is going to be, I think Facebook is going to, from what I hear, going to be installing a PayPal button at some point. They haven't. I'm not sure whether they've done it yet or not. And there was talk way back that they were going to make Facebook a search engine as well, probably using Google. So that people don't even have to leave Facebook. They'll be on Facebook, using Facebook, and they could shop from Facebook. But those people who use Facebook at the moment know the amount of rules and regulations that are there. So, as I said, set up your own website, build your own website, learn how to build it, and learn how to maintain it. It will take a few years to learn it, but in the long run, 5 or 6 years down the line, you will save yourself a hell of a lot of money, a hell of a lot of grief and heartache. I'm telling you that now. So that's my advice to people out there. Build and host your own website, and if it takes you 5 years just get one order, then it takes that time. Thanks for listening.